Welcome to Not Like This, Patreon exclusive Wrestling Rabbit Hole. Jim's pick this go around. Jim, we talking Scott Hall.
We are talking Scott Hall. Hey, yo.
Did you ever try to get the little curly Q on your forehead? You ever try to do that?
I tried to get a curly Q for Superman as a little kid. Not for Scott Hall. I didn't really have a lot of hair, but I did wear a wig.
Right.
I did wear a wig to high school for Halloween when I dressed as Scott Hall one year. I think I did. I know I wore a bandana. I know I had a toothpick. I know I had an NWO shirt.
That's all you need.
And I know I did the surfboard walk.
That's all you need.
But I didn't do the curly Q with real hair ever. And he had some hair. When his hair changed, I feel like he was changing. You know what I mean?
Like when he went from...
Like when the hair started getting sort of dry and frizzy, it was sort of when he wasn't on TV a lot and when things weren't happening for him.
Like the end of WCW or something?
Yeah.
He's like, I need a bottle of water for my hair. And they're like, we don't have any more money.
No, we spent it all on contracts.
God, we talked about Nash just spent $2 million on pyro.
Yeah.
You need water.
What is your first Scott Hall memory? Even if it's vague, even if it's like I can't really nail it down, but this.
I think I remember some of those Razor vignettes. The coming soon, and he's in a car, and this kind of shit, and he's wearing the stupidest fucking clothes in the world. And I'm a child, so I don't really know what Scarface is. And I'm like, what the fuck is all of this? I don't understand.
Yeah, they did the Miami vignettes, which I thought were cool. I thought he had some of the coolest ring gear.
Eventually, because when you say that, you're thinking the classic, most of his run. But the early Razor, motherfuckers out there with tights and shit. Not full pants. And it's like, oof, it wasn't a good look. So thank God they did address that. And he went with the trunks, and he would have the gold trunks and the purple trunks.
That's true. I wasn't even thinking about, I can't remember the pants. You're talking like tights, right? Like,
yeah.
Like Tito Santana, like pants, right?
But like they were essentially his trunks. They were just long. Like it wasn't like a different style or different fabric or anything like that. It was the trunks, but in pant form, and it was weird. Didn't look right, despite him having great body, amazing body. It's like, nah, for some reason you just need trunks. You can't pull off the pants.
And you would say maybe didn't work for you, brother.
Didn't work for me, brother. Who does pants work for? Like skinny guys, fat guys?
I think. Okay. I think if we're being honest, the pants work for, especially back then, late 80s, early 90s. The pants were for guys that were lacking in the leg department. So so you said like skinny guys, fat guys. Take a guy like Jake the Snake. He's a big dude, not a physique guy though, So he got some pants.
Got some pants.
Bret Hart ended up getting pretty jacked in the late 80s, a little puffed out, you know what I'm saying?
Puffy.
But his, and he's athletic. He can, it's not like he can't use his legs, but it wasn't like you wanted to, it wasn't like he would have looked like an action figure. Hulk Hogan, he had some big legs back in the day. Randy Savage ended up going to the pants because his legs were in shape, and they were proportional for the most part. But I would say, like, take a guy, like I mentioned, Jake the Snake, not a physique dude, right? But here's a guy, Rick Rude, who is shredded. He looked like a comic book character from the waist up.
This is true.
He had some skinny legs. So they're like, throw some pants on this guy, but definitely keep your shirt off him. If you ever, as a little quick aside, if you ever want to see Scott Hall looking like a monster, just Google, go on YouTube and just search Big Scott Hall, AWA.
Big Scott Hall.
He comes into the WWF officially in '92, and there's already been some steroid issues. Now, the steroid trial hasn't started, but Vince is already worried about the steroid image and is trying to get away from some of the monster-looking dudes. And Scott Hall's a big guy, athletic guy, muscular, when you see him. And so I never really bought when he would be like, yeah, he wasn't on steroids then. I'm like, come on, look at him. He's a big wrestler guy. And he's sort of athletic, looks like a tight end or something. He's not huge like Hogan used to be. And he's about the same frame. But I did hear him say he used to do steroids. And if you look, you just look for Big Scott Hall. That's what he looks like on steroids. He doesn't look like a human. So yes, Razor Ramon, I believe that is natty.
But you don't even hear about this until like maybe NWO time, and now we're all on AOL, and there's these rumors, and I heard Tammy Lynn's Sitch is having sex with everybody, and I heard Scott Hall killed a guy, and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, that's when I first heard about it. Was like the late '90s, and just sort of like internet stuff. Like, man, he killed a man. But you hear stuff all the time on the internet. You read it.
So that's that story. I always want to remind people that Michael Myers ate a dog, and that Scott Hall did kill a man. Well,
he did kill a man. Yeah, I don't like to think about it, but it definitely happened.
Just some dark shit you hear about after the fact. But then he eventually climbs the ranks, works with Kurt Hennig, gets super jacked, and then normalish size, and hits the WWF with those goofy fucking promos and
weird pants.
And it was a good era to be someone like Scott Hall. It's like, well, you're gonna come in where you're Razor Ramon, and well, we got jobbers all day. We've got local talent in all these cities. They don't really use jobbers too much these days, but back then they're just feeding them.
And my first strong memories of him were when he teamed with Ric Flair at Survivor Series. And I didn't remember that it was originally supposed to be the Ultimate Warrior when I remember it. But I do remember seeing that match, on the tape delay, as in the Star Video, wait till it comes to Star Video delay, because I couldn't afford pay-per-views and shit. You figure he came in like the summer-ish, and then Survivor Series, or was it? I don't think it was SummerSlam. I think it was Survivor Series. He's working with Ric Flair and Randy Savage and Mr. Perfect.
And it's crazy because, yes, it's his debut era, but he's not new. He's been doing this for about 8 years now. He knows fucking everybody. He's worked in NWA, AWA, New Japan for a minute. Like, fucking, he's been around. So even because he tells a good story about this Survivor Series, because he didn't really like Ric Flair, which a lot of people sometimes just don't like Ric Flair.
Correct. Heard this,
but Razor, because that bad mind for the business. He didn't like somewhat of like the spot Rick was at, and he was going to get like the title and all this stuff. And Razor very much was like, why? Like, he just brought the big gold belt from Atlanta. Like, he just shit all over their shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want to give him your shit. Don't, like, what are you, like, he was very.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, he wasn't a fan of that. And like Kurt Hennig would always be like, don't just relax. He was like, because Vince would be like, does anybody have any questions? And Scott Hall would be like, I wanted to be like, why do you trust him? Do we trust this guy?
But when I think of this era, and if you say the word jobber, I picture Razor Ramon just razor's edging the shit out of some. Here's Johnny Lightning Pants. Like when you say Raw jobber or Superstars jobber squash match. Anytime you say that, I always picture Scott Hall doing the sack of shit just flinging him over, Razor's head, just some guy with like weird like blue pants or something just getting mollywopped by Razor Ramon.
And that's why the 1, 2, 3 kid stuff works, because it's like, oh, look at this baby jobber. That's even what the f-
right? Yeah.
Razor, what the that's there was a huge. It was a huge thing.
That was a brilliant push. So this is the beginning of me really liking him, and like I don't care that he's a heel.
Yeah, I like WrestleMania 9. I think because it's a short match, it's a shit match. Razor and Backlund, and it's not good. It's not really entertaining in any way because of the styles are clashing badly. And Backlund, I never liked him as a kid, obviously. It's like, who is this uncle? Get him off my television.
This was like my first memories of him as a kid. Like I wasn't alive when he was a big deal in the 70s and early 80s.
So you have to hear them gush about it, and I'm like, I don't see it.
And he just looks like somebody's dad. He didn't even look like my dad. Like my dad looked like more of an athlete than that guy.
And they would, oh, he's so great and all this. And then, Kevin Nash would beat him in 3 seconds on a house show, take the belt.
After this, yeah.
Yeah. So that's, but, he got into WrestleMania. It sucks that he beat him with like a small package or roll up or whatever the fuck. Like that's also garbage because you have the coolest move. One day we're going to rank finishers. Maybe that could be an episode.
That'd be a good episode. That'd be a good episode.